Hey, you guys, I think we better take it easy, huh?
That's all right, children. Been meaning to get rid of them old things anyhow.
Hey everybody, Skinny K here with another 80s slasher film, actually folk horror and slasher horror. That's what IMDb at least says. American Gothic from 1987, an hour 30 minutes long, directed by John Hugh. Gets a 5.8 on 8 on IMDb. Now I know it's my second watch, and I know I saw it long ago, and there's a reason why I didn't rewatch it, and I'm giving it a 5. So that means it's certainly worth a watch. Some people are gonna love it as hell. Some people are gonna and I'm in the but I'm still giving it a 5 because the there are some things that I liked, but I think the let's just talk about the synopsis, right? So this couple, Cynthia and Jeff. Well, Cynthia had a baby, and she had an accident with the baby. Apparently, she washing it, but went to get something. Apparently, the baby in the faucet of the tap was still running water, and the baby drowned. Very tragic. And she then went to a psychiatry, you know, institution because of her depression and all, coping with that. And Jeff always they're not even married, and they kept believing in each other. So at some point he says, the doctor said, I wouldn't take her, it's 11 months later, I wouldn't take her with you. And he says, no, we're going to take her to the island where we always camped. She's going to like that. Now, he also has a plane, this water landing plane, one of with the what are those, like canoes on the sort of canoe, so they can land on water. That kind of plane can hold a few people, and they go with. I'm thinking there are two other couples. Like you got one, Lynn and Paul, and Terry and Rob. Now there weren't a lot of known faces. So these people eventually um, arrive at this planet, but not planet. Sorry, arrive at this island, but not the same island they wanted to go. Their airplane had airplane troubles, and they had to land. So they set up camp, and eventually they're going to look around if somebody's living on this island, maybe. And they say to Paul, there's the guy, the only guy with the glasses, can you stay behind, will you? Now, if I were, you look over the camp and the plane. Now, if I was the Jeff, he looked like the leader a little bit of the group. It was his plane, his camping gear. I would have said, "You want some company?" Like that. But okay. So with 5, they're going to look for somebody, and they find this old house. And when they're in there, you probably seen the first clip that I showed you, the intro clip to my review. They're just okay. They open the door. Now I guess okay, they think there's nobody there, but looks. I mean, it's obvious there's somebody living there. The bed when there's a moment when Cynthia goes to the upstairs, the bedroom, and there's this. I mean, there multiple hints that somebody's living there. And then you see Ma and Paul coming in. Now, of course, they're the only ones in the island, so they don't close their door or something. I mean, American people, they in the suburbs usually they don't close their door. that I've always thought that was so dangerous. If some maniac or whatever just can get in because you're living in a safe neighborhood, that doesn't mean, like Haddonfield, Halloween, they don't close their fucking door. Even when a maniac just killed everybody in a white mask, but okay. Now, Ma and Pa, they have a daughter. They have a daughter, uh, Woody and Teddy, and daughter Fanny, and two sons, Woody and Teddy. Now, here's a clip of the daughter Fanny and the brother Woody. Here you go.
Say hello, Woody.
Hello.
You want to ride in our swing? Do you, Rob?
Sure, why not?
Oh, boy! Rob's gonna ride our swing. Rob's gonna ride our swing. Rob's gonna ride our swing.
So, if you're wondering, that guy was Rob, the guy that's seen them playing. And eventually, Fanny thinks she's 12 years old. The Ma and Pa thinks so too. And Woody thinks he's the older brother, so he's probably a few years older. And she looks like in her 50s, and he looks like in his 60s. And the Teddy guy, he's the youngest, I think, but he's like, no, or the oldest. I mean, Woody is the gray-haired guy, and the only known actors in the movie were Fanny and Woody. Fanny is played by Janet Wright. She's in The Secret with Jessica Biel, this thriller-esque horror supernatural movie. She does a lot of these side roles, a lot of movies though. And then Woody is the guy who plays in a lot of famous movies: Scrooged, Bonnie and Clyde, Tango and Cash, and so on. And the dad, Pa, they don't have a name. They're called Ma and Pa. They don't give out names, even when these people that arrive at the house are asking. They still prefer to be called Ma and Pa. The Pa is Rod Steiger, not Rob, Rod Steiger, and he was in Dr. Zhivago, but I never seen that movie. It's an old movie. Yeah. Now, the thing is, okay, so these people get there, they get, you know, they get food, and Paul says, "Oh, tomorrow is a guy's probably coming here, and he can help you." And then they meet the daughter Fanny, who thinks it's tomorrow is her 12th birthday. She's 12. She has a baby. Uh, and then later on we get Woody, and then even later on there's another brother called Teddy, and he's the scumbag. Okay, and it's basically a story like, if you like People Under the Stairs, a little bit of not the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like it's done with a chainsaw and a cannibalism, but the fucked up family. It's like that. If you like slasher movies with fucked up families, that you know there's something wrong, but you know what I mean, then this is your movie. Yeah. Usually, I'm not a fan if you got, okay, you got this and this and this, and they're all, but it's a slasher movie, so it's a slasher movie. So the pros and cons. Pros: acting isn't bad. Acting isn't bad. Not the best acting, but not the worst acting, especially from Ma and Pa. I would say Fanny and the two brothers, yeah. But there's something that Teddy, in my opinion, the youngest guy of the three, but okay, apparently the oldest, does that in my that actually makes this movie pretty revolting. You got some good gore in there, not too much, but not too little. Okay. Um, the soundtrack wasn't something to write over. It's nothing special. Uh, yeah, and there's and at some point, okay, wait, I'm thinking. Okay, so the acting wasn't that bad. The gore was okay. Um, that was it. Okay. Then let's go to the cons. The cons are, so they when the ma and pa are basically on, you can see there's something wrong with these two people, right? Right? You meet Fanny, the daughter, 12 years old, and they're asking, so it's the five of you, right? Yeah, here we're with five. Yes, I'm bit this and this is this and that, and we also got somebody else on our plane, watching over our plane on the campsite, Paul. Now this is the why they said that is so stupid, because then you get this scene here. You can see Paul has a little bit of a headache. Now there is certain things that just bothered me, that so Paul, like you can see, because they said there's somebody there, and this family is basically like one fucked up family. He's gonna kill them all except one, and that's a twist ending over another twist ending. And I don't want to talk about spoilers, right? I don't want to talk about spoilers because I think it's a movie that I did spoil in the past, and I like the Paul kill is already spoiled, but I'll do a mini spoiler. The first twist, okay, not the second twist. Now the boat was okay filled, so sh- one of there only be two left. One of the all already a spoiler actually. One of the women holds, it's Cynthia and I believe Lynn holds with, it has a flare gun and holds Fanny hostage. They're going to, and it looks like Fanny's the most desired one from Ma and Pa, and the other ones can fuck right off. And like I said, they're going to the boat. Okay, she sees her boyfriend there. She fires out of rage, but instead of getting in that fucking boat, the boat had pedals. The boat had an outboard motor, and it after they run away, what they do is they put the boat in the water, put it on fire, and it explodes, meaning there was gas in the fucking boat. So the yard boat, okay, okay. Um, and then this fucked up scene, I'm not gonna put it on because I think it's kind of tasteless. Teddy is the rebel son of Ma and Pa, and he kills one of the two. Yeah, one of the two. And while that person, so Lynn or Cynthia, I'm not gonna say who, but when that person, and so here's the mini spoilers. So it's not a complete spoiler, it's the first twist spoiler, okay? But there's a second one, and I'm not gonna tell you that one. And I don't like the two twists. So at some point, one of the two women gets killed by Teddy, broken neck, and then you get this scene where he's the rebellious one. He's the guy who is the most curious one, and at some point he starts to have sex with a dead body. And then eventually the last surviving woman for does she so that woman that gets killed and basically fucked when she's dead is asking for help from that other woman, and she doesn't want to help because she's standing there. It's almost like she's in shock, and she had the best bond with Fanny. She was the nicest girl of the bunch, and not calling them freaks and things like that, and she becomes one of the family members. Yeah, she gets to see all the bodies in the basement of the house of Ma and Pa, and you see that there are a lot of skeletons, so you can see they have been doing this for a long time. And then you see all the bodies that have been killed from the group, and she's like, oh, puppets to play with, like this. And I'm thinking, wow. So spoilers off. And the second twist I hate too. But it's the let's say goriest moment of the movie in my opinion. So let's say it's I dislike it, and at the same time, but I know where they're getting. I understand what we're getting. So let's put that one in the pros. The second twist ending, because I understand where they were going with that. The last survivor goes haywire at some point. So the final girl that goes with that's immediately a member of the family, and then something happens and she goes haywire and a massacre happens. So that's one of the coolest scenes too. That's the reason why I'm giving it a 5. If that didn't happen, I would have, and it ended like that, I would have given it 4.5. So that being said, give it a watch. American Gothic. I think it's free on YouTube. And I'm not sure if it's I got the DVD, but if it's not if it's on YouTube, it may be censored. So see you later. Bye.